Right, and with Christian, was that a point gained or 2 points dropped?
In my opinion, 2 points dropped. I said on the watch along before the game, I was confident. I feel going off the Spurs performance, if we put in the same performance we did against Spurs, I feel like we would have won the game. I don't think they're as good an opposition as Spurs. I think out of the 3 this week, this should have been the easiest game. And I don't want to be too negative, but I think we made a bit of a meal of it.
Can I agree to disagree with you there? Because I actually think that they're a better team than Spurs. And I'll tell you why. Because they finished 4th in their league last year. Okay, you could argue that Serie A is not as strong as the Premier League, and I wouldn't argue with that too much. However, they did win the Europa League last season. They beat in the final a team that was pretty much unbeatable that season. Yeah. Leverkusen, who we saw today thrash. Who did they play? Feyenoord, yeah. So I don't know if I would say that Tottenham are a better team than, but hey.
I see your point, but they've also got Sead Kolasinac starting for them, who wasn't very loved at Arsenal, and we know what he's about. They've got Zappa Costa, who is a player way past his best years, who we saw at Chelsea. 36-year-old Juan Cuadrado came on for them. Like, I think if they were in the Premier League, they're not finishing top 6, maybe not even top 8. And I don't want to disrespect them because they are a good team. They won the Europa League, beat Leverkusen in the final. They do have quality, but I think where we are compared to where they are, we should be winning this game comfortably. But again, I don't want to be too negative. I don't think it's a bad result. Drawing away, especially in the week we've got with the negativity, the injuries we've got at the moment. I expected more, and I thought we were poor today.
Okay, how much of that would you say is down to the loss of Martin Odegaard? I mean, I spoke to some of the other guys, Stricto and Turkish, and they were saying that loss is pretty significant. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably our best player, so obviously it's always going to be significant. And I think when Odegaard plays, he unlocks Saka a lot more, and most of our attacks are usually down the right. They're usually on Saka's side. Whereas today, I think you could see that we were struggling to get the ball out to Saka. A lot of it was going down the left, down the middle. We were very narrow, which made it easy for them to defend against us. Whereas when Odegaard plays, because of the positions between the lines he picks up, it makes it, we're a lot more unpredictable. Saka can get in behind, Martinelli in behind, Havertz drop in. It's just, we lose a lot of the creativity. And we definitely miss Odegaard for sure.
Okay, another thing I wanted to ask you, a few people have highlighted what they think are some of the concerns. So, for example, a couple of the guys have said Martinelli is off form. Would you agree? And if so, do you think he should play against City? And if not, who else would you like to see come in?
It's tough with Martinelli because my mind, I still love him for who he was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they played in this shirt. But he just hasn't been that same player since. I think.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't watch training. I don't watch. Do you know what I mean? I don't know the guy. Maybe there's some personal stuff. Maybe it's the injuries and he's never really recovered. Maybe his confidence is just on the floor. But he hasn't scored in 16 games. Yeah. And for a winger playing in a team who's a very, very good team, to put it simply, that's not good enough. I mean, the last time I saw quality from Martinelli was Palace at home when we won 5-0, which was the first game back from the break after Dubai, where he came off the bench and scored 2 goals. And that was supposed to be his comeback. He was just back from injury as well. The team was then on the up, and he kind of just faded out and went downhill. Trossard took his position, never really got back into the team. And this season, to be fair to Mikel, he's given him a chance. The first 3 games he started, Trossard obviously came on in the Villa game, and the celebration, he thought he should be starting. And then, Martinelli hasn't taken his chance, and he's going down in the estimation, I think, in a lot of Arsenal fans' minds. Maybe.
Would you start him against City?
I think the way we're going to set up against City is going to be counter-attack football. And obviously Martinelli, with his pace, offers more on the counter, which is the argument for starting him. I don't know. I think I need to think about that.
It is a conundrum because, like you said, we know what he's capable of. He's got great pace. He's got great energy when he's on it. And he does provide some very important defensive work.
Put it this way, if I want a chance we're going to have very limited chances against City. And if I want 1 or 2 chances fall into someone, it's probably going to be Trossard over Martinelli. So I don't think I would start him. I think I'd start Trossard on the left.
Okay. Right, let's try and take some positives from today. I mean, you said you think it's 2 points dropped. That's your opinion.
But I don't want it to get wrong. I don't want to be negative.
I
don't think it's a bad point. I just think for the level of quality we have and coming off the win against Spurs, I think we could have got more today, but it's not a bad result.
I hear you. I was going to ask, there's one obvious candidate, David Raya, the penalty save. To me, he was man of the match. I'm assuming you feel the same way. Was there any other Arsenal players today that stood out for you?
I think the 2 centre-backs. I think those 3, Gabriel, Saliba and Raya, have probably been our best 3 players this season. You could put them in any order. I'd probably put Raya as number 1. But yeah, I think that Ramsdale-Raya debate is a distant memory now. That's completely... Ramsdale's at Southampton, struggling. And yeah, we're seeing how good this guy is. In every game this season, he's made top saves. In the Wolves game, there was the glancing header, which he made the save. Aston Villa game, we know what he did there. The game against Brighton, he made a brilliant save as well when he was all the way to the left and he recovered on the right. And then, played well against Spurs as well. And then today, penalty, double save. It reminded me of, I said it on the watch along, the Szczesny against Liverpool. There was a similar moment where he saved the penalty, got back up and made a double save. And yeah,
the agility he showed there was outstanding. I mean, I think Stricto earlier said he's got the agility of a cat and you can't argue with that. Yeah, so brilliant. Well done to him. Just looking ahead, I don't often like to do that, but now this game's out of the way, I guess we can do. Massive game at the weekend against City. We can't really afford to drop points. In terms of how we approach the game and any changes you'd like to make to the team, have you given that any thought yet?
Yeah, I wouldn't start Jesus. I would start Havertz in the 9. I think he offers a lot more. I think in the first 30 minutes, 25 minutes, he was our best attacking outlet. I think Jesus' knees have just gone. It's sad to say I've got Jesus on the back of this shirt. I loved him when he first came in, but he just hasn't been the same player. Even when he comes off the bench, he doesn't really offer anything.
Kept getting caught offside tonight as well.
Offside, just couldn't hold up the ball. So I'd start Havertz in the 9. I think that's the only change I'd make. And then
what about the midfield? Because obviously Declan Rice, who wasn't available for the Tottenham game, he's back. He had a decent game today, I thought, Declan.
Yeah, it was okay.
So I think he'll start against City, but one of those guys going to have to drop out.
Yeah.
So who's that going to...
I think he'll probably start the same team as Spurs, which will be just with Rice instead of Jorginho. So it'll be Rice.
So Jorginho will drop out, not Partey.
Yeah. No, I think Partey will start. Partey, Rice, and I think he'll start Trossard. And he'll start Martinelli, Havertz and Saka. So it's just Jorginho out and Rice in from Spurs.
And do you think that team will be strong enough or good enough to get a result at City?
I think the team is strong enough. The performances this week haven't necessarily filled me with confidence that we will get a result. I think if we play how we played against Spurs, against City, we'll lose. If we play how we played tonight against City, we'll lose. So there's going to be a lot of defending. We're going to be limited to very few chances. We want those chances to fall to the right players. Saka, Trossard. Yeah.
Who knows, maybe Martinelli might surprise us all and turn his season around with...
It'd be a good game to do it,
yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. But anyway, listen, bro, thank you very much and see you soon.